everybody, welcome back to Toys and More. Today we're going to review a very famous book which I'm sure everybody has heard of. So let us begin.
There was no signature. Harry stared at the note. Ron was admiring the clock. "I'd give anything for one of these," he said. "Anything. What's the matter?" "Nothing," said Harry. He felt very strange. Who had sent the clock? Had it really once belonged to his father? Before he could say or think anything else, the dormitory door was flung open and George and Fred Weasley bounded in. Harry stuffed the clock quickly out of sight. He didn't feel like sharing it with anyone else. So, I suppose you all have understood which book am I talking about. And yes, you're right. It's no other than Harry Potter and the Philosophers. And today we are going to review this book. So, this is my favorite part of the book. And the page number is 270. You must be wondering, who has written this book? So I'm going to tell you a little something about it. The author is no other than J.K. Rowling. And J.K. Rowling has based most of the characters and places on her daily life. Like King's Cross Station, which is based on a train station where her parents met. And Albus Dumbledore is one of her favorite headmaster in real life. And Harry Potter. The Potters lived just down the street and they were actually very good friends. And lastly, Hermione Granger, who she has based on herself. Isn't that super cool? So let me now tell you how J.K. Rowling wrote the first book, because it's very interesting. So J.K. Rowling first had the idea of Harry Potter from a train delayed from Manchester to London's King's Cross Station. And she had a mountain of notes, most of them which were scrap of paper. She arrived in Edinburgh with 3 chapters of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. After a few years, she had a baby daughter, Jessica. She loved her dearly, but she didn't stop writing. Now, Harry Potter has sold more than 500 million copies around the world. And when Harry Potter was first published in the UK, it sold 22.65 million copies on the first 24 hours. How cool is that? So you might be wondering, who are the main characters? Harry Potter. Harry is a vulnerable boy, and the moment I started the first book, I felt a connection with all the characters, mainly Harry and Hermione. Harry is a boy who survived from the greatest dark wizard of all time. He lives with his mean Aunt Petunia and unkind Uncle Vernon. They also have an unintelligent, untalented and lazy son, Dudley Dursley. Harry as a baby had lost his parents, Lily Evans and James Potter. He didn't remember them very well. Harry was the only wizard in the magical community to have survived a death curse thrown at him by the greatest dark wizard. Harry was a unique boy because he didn't enjoy the holidays like the others and hated them. And he only loved Hogwarts, school of witchcraft and wizardry. It is the only place he feels like home. Hermione Granger is also another main character. She is a muggle-born witch whose parents are dentists. Hermione is so much like me. I feel a strong connection with her. Also, J.K. Rowling has based Hermione Granger on herself, which I told you before. Me and Hermione are alike because we both study so much. The only difference is that she's a topper. And so am I. But I'm not so good like she is. And also, I don't like studies, but she does. So funny. I don't think that I can ever be like her because she's so intelligent. And you ask her anything, she'll know it. But she doesn't know so much about muggles, which are people who are not wizards or witches. Hermione's worst nightmare is that for her to fail. Despite her high-handedness, Hermione is actually a very kind-hearted girl and a loyal friend to have. Hermione is arrogant and bossy with crookshanks and scabbers who you will get to know in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, book number 3 in the Harry Potter series. And this is the series which you should read. And they are very interesting. Ron Weasley is a pure-blooded wizard raised with his 5 brothers and 1 sister. Percy, Bill, Charlie, Fred and George, who are twins, and lastly, his younger sister, Ginny. His parents are Molly and Arthur Weasley. Molly is an excellent mom, and Arthur works at the Ministry of Magic. Arthur's boss is Cornelius Oswald Fudge, who is also the Minister of Magic. Ron, Harry and Hermione are best of friends and according to me, a perfect trio. Ron is clumsy, emotional and an absolute idiot. He is not good with his studies like Harry or Hermione. Ron is always told off by all his teachers, including his brothers, Percy, Bill, Charlie. And he sometimes also gets scolded by Harry or Hermione. Another very important character of the story is you-know-who, also considered as Tom Marvolo Riddle, the Dark Lord and Voldemort. He is the antagonist of the whole series. He is also the murderer of Harry's parents. His army of Death Eaters are very powerful and have killed many people. He is the villain of the whole series and is trying to kill Harry Potter himself. Severus Snape. He is the potion master at Hogwarts. He is very unkind to Harry. He is also the head of Slytherin House. Quirrell Square is a professor of defense against dark arts at Hogwarts, the school of witchcraft and wizardry. Quirrell is a tiny man with a weak voice and a stutter. He has a twisted part to play which will be revealed at the end of book 1. Hagrid is gamekeeper at Hogwarts because he was expelled in his 3rd year. In the first book, he is the owner of Norbert the dragon and Fluffy the 3-headed dog. He is also a good friend of Harry and a huge support to them. Albus Percival Wilfrid Brian Dumbledore, also known as Professor Dumbledore, is the current headmaster of Hogwarts. Albus Dumbledore is considered to be the most powerful wizard of his time. He is a huge support for Harry, Ron and Hermione. I believe he is the best and the strongest character ever known. The book is full of splendid defining moments, twists, turns and fantastic magical events. Some of the main defining moments are Harry Potter discovering that he is actually a wizard. Also the fact that he has to leave the Dursleys' house and move to a magical school called Hogwarts, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Another defining moment is when Harry meets his first friends, Ronald Weasley and Hermione Granger. They end up becoming best friends, and this changes their lives forever. There are many other exciting moments in this book which are revealed at various points. So, what happens in this story? In Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, baby Harry is left behind with his mean Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon because of his parents passing away. He later gets to know that his parents are wizards. He enters the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as a first-year student. He meets his new friends like Hagrid, the school gamekeeper, Ronald Weasley, the goofy but likable classmate, and Hermione Granger, the brainiest girl in the grade. There is also the mystery of the Philosopher's Stone, which Harry and his friends become part of. Harry also ends up having a dangerous encounter with the murderer of his parents, the Dark Lord or Voldemort. Harry also ends up finding a mentor for his life, Professor Albus Dumbledore. Do Harry and his friends survive the encounter? Do Harry and his friends manage to find the Philosopher's Stone? Is this the beginning of a new journey for Harry? One of friendship, danger, and that of discovering his true potential? Experience Harry's journey in the magical world of Hogwarts, Big Book 1. Will Harry and his friends survive? Will they get the stone? Is the attacker and find the Severus Snape? What is the use of the stone? Will Harry find the stone and give it to Dumbledore? Read the book to find out. The best thing I love about this series is the writing style of Joanne. She is so creative and, according to me, an amazing author. Whenever I read her books, it is like I'm watching a movie because she is so visually descriptive. She is so knowledgeable that she has even created new vocabulary just for the Harry Potter series. The way she structures her story is so intriguing that it keeps you connected to the book throughout. She has the power of keeping you gripped to the book with the sudden twists and turns. She has also built very powerful and unique characters. For example, Hermione, who she has based on herself. If I had to rate this book on a scale from 1 to 10, I would rate it 8.5